Hello everyone, Don here with an update on my vapor blasting cabinet, aqua blasting cabinet. As I mentioned before in one of my previous videos, the water pump took a crap on me. The media ended up getting up through the seal into the motor somehow, and because the motor was fully submerged all the time, and it didn't short the motor out, but it wouldn't run. I'm surprised it didn't pop any breakers, fuses. So I've gone through and tore out the old system, and I'm going to be upgrading to a little different system. The first thing I needed to address was the water delivery, fresh water delivery into the cabinet. You can see I've got a new hose on here, bigger hose, 1/2-inch ID hose, new spray nozzle. Previously I had this 1/4-inch air line on there, and the problem with that was the water hose come in the back like this, came into this assembly, a little 1/4-inch pipe. That went through there, and this hooked to the valve. That went into the hose. Problem was, that's too much of a restriction. 1/4-inch pipe was way too restrictive for the water, even at full pressure on the hose. With just this hooked straight to that yellow hose and the nozzle, it had no volume, no pressure whatsoever. So I upgraded to this 3/4-inch fitting, and then into this 1/2-inch pipe. So now this is the washdown hose. We got more than enough water to rinse down with. So that gets tucked in there. I'll have to make me a hanger to put that on. Okay, then the second problem was I had a hose across here with holes drilled in it to spray on the window to wash it as you're blasting. So what I did here is I took one of these wide nozzles from a pressure washer and mounted it on here and ran that to my valve. Another problem I had was this thing was never really used because the water feed didn't work well. It's hooked to a separate switch on the control panel here, master switch. Problem was the timer inside was working, the relay was clicking, but it wasn't getting any power to the coil. Turns out the relay went bad on it, points in it, so I desoldered that this morning, soldered it on a new board, hooked it up, everything works fine. So I'll go ahead and give you a demonstration of this. Let me go ahead and close this down. I'm going to turn this light switch on. Now I've got it set for a 15 seconds off, 2 seconds on. Light comes on, and the timer's inside is a continuous loop. It just runs for 15 seconds. Alright, let's see what we got. The nozzle's not the best one yet. It's working, but it's still not giving me a wide enough spray across there, but it's something I may do. But for now, that's better than I had. So I'll at least be able to see through there. So again, that'll cycle. It runs for 2 seconds and then stops for 15. And after 15, it'll kick back on again. And I also eliminated, there we go. So I eliminated the connections on the bottom. What I ended up doing is, let me switch that off. I bought this sump pump basin from Home Depot. They're like $25. Lowe's sells the exact same thing for about $32. The nice thing about this one is it's nice and round. It's got a nice clean round bottom in it. There's got some light ribbing down here, 4 of them. But the idea is when I put the pump in here, it'll be setting on, the media go in first, and the pump will set so the base of the pump is at the top of the media, and then the water will be 5 gallons above that. So the pump sets in there. And as the pump's turned on, when I step on the foot switch, which is setting right there, that activates the pump. And what it will do is it will initially pump water, and then there will be a T-fitting on the outlet that's going to revert some of the pressure and water back down into the basin. I'll probably have 2 lines coming out, and they'll turn so they're facing one this way, one that way. So it'll circulate this round. That's why I wanted a nice clean round bottom in this, so it'll get a swirl action going and churn up the glass beads so it can mix up better, and then it'll start pumping the mix. Now this does fit underneath the cabinet. Once you have to basically pick the cabinet up, put it on there. I may end up having to put some blocks under the cabinet to get a little higher, and for me that wouldn't hurt because I'm 6'1" anyway. I have to lean over when I'm using this cabinet. So the air system's still the same. Air comes into here, foot pedal actuates this solenoid valve which turns the air onto the gun. I'm still using the same gun I purchased off eBay. I just don't have the tip on it. I took it off there to check it and clean it, and there's a one-way check valve, so water can't go back through the valve when you have air disconnected, because the media will go back through there and all the way back into the regulator. So, and then after it comes out of the pump, the hose will come out through here, 3/4 inch hose, and it'll come right up to here to where I had it originally plumbed from my very first setup, when I had an external pump mounted on top of a square basin. But that didn't work because I was trying to filter out just the water, but a lot of the media ended up in the tote after a short period of time. So now I'm going to go to this complete external system. There will never be any water in the tank. It will literally just blast and go right out the bottom, right into the basin. And then as far as cleaning it out, I'm going to have to figure out a way to either lift this up. I don't really want to cut this off. I could cut it, but it'd be kind of short, even if I do put this on blocks, like 4-inch, 6-inch blocks. I'd rather not cut it because that kind of gives it its strength. And I mean, it's cheap enough, but I may eventually want to try and seal this in and then just have the hose coming out of it. So that's where I'm at now. I think that'll be a much better setup. My old first original setup had a different kind of water pump. It worked fine, but I think over time it would have, it probably would have died too. I think the media would have gotten to it, and it had some slight leaks on it up here anyway, but it worked okay being an external. But I'm going to buy a different style pump this time. Like I said, there's the old pump that, I mean, the stuff got right up into the electrical part of it. Ruined it. I couldn't get it fixed. It wasn't savable. So those are the upgrades to the cabinet for now. I turned that off until I can wash it out. That's not used now. It was originally intended for the first application. And then of course there's the vent, just an air vent. So I may end up trying to use the spray bar with these clips I got in there. Put a piece of aluminum or stainless steel tubing in here, and I'll drill holes to precisionally drill them so it sprays. That might work better. And then I'd have to pull this out and cap this hole, but that's the original hole up here. So that's kind of where I'm at. Today's December 23rd, so tomorrow's Christmas Eve, Wednesday's Christmas Day. Anybody watching this video now, to wish them a Merry Christmas this year. And once I get this back up and running, get her working, I can't really do much with it in the wintertime because it's just going to freeze up. But I wanted to get it fixed, and so that's what I'm going to do. Then my next thing is to get to work on the granite. I've been doing some drilling. I bought some, diamond drills. These are the second batch of drills I bought for the 8 millimeters. These are 12 millimeters for the 1/2-inch inserts. I got all my inserts from China. These are 6 millimeter thread. Those are what are needed to bolt the tracks down, the linear guide rails. And you can see I got holes drilled in there. The only problem is this is my second batch of these. And I can tell you right now, this particular style, I bought 20 of them. They're junk. You can't even drill one hole with these things. They're absolute garbage. The other brands are like this. You notice there's a notch in the ends of these. I don't know if that makes the world of difference, but this particular style works the best. Because I got so many, here's some 3/8 basically, 10 millimeters. I haven't used yet. Those are going to be for a different hole. I think for the bolts. Well, some of these 3/8 are actually what went through the side plates here for 3/8 inch bolts. And then as you can see, I got all the 8 millimeter holes drilled in here to put all those 6 millimeter thread inserts into. Those are the sides, and this is the gantry for the spindle motor and everything. This will basically be the Y-axis, left and right. And then this whole assembly slides fore and aft on there. It's basically replacing this whole machine. There's not really anything on this machine that I'll be reusing. I'll probably steal the sensors off it, but the motors and everything, I've bought all new stepper motors, closed-looped stepper motors they call them, or they have a feedback. They have an encoder on the end, so they won't miss any steps. They'll trip out if there's any problem with steps or stoppage, so your machine doesn't try to keep moving. It'll basically emergency stop the whole system. But This gantry here is now going to be that one. It's literally going to be on the back side, and it's going to be coming this way. This will be the y-axis. X-axis will be this new one on that. So X is still going to be the long part of the table, Y is the short part of the table, and the Z will be the same. There'll be direct drive, like this one here with a ball screw. So I'll be using 2 ball screws to feed the y-axis with 2 smaller motors, and then I'll have 1 ball screw running the Y. Yeah, this is the ZX, excuse me. There'll be 1 ball screw to run the X back and forth and 1 ball screw to bring the motor up and down. I'm looking to go with one of these new Chinese spindles. It's a 3.2 kilowatt, so it's like 4 horse, 0 to 24,000 RPM with an automatic tool change collet system on it, chuck collet system. So that'll be sweet, because I'm going to design a system to where it'll do automatic tool changes on its own. So once you push the start button on the program, it'll change the tools all by itself. So that's kind of where I'm at now. So I got to reorder the old styles. About 20 of these, and they're junk. They won't even drill 1 hole. So this style, don't even waste your time with them. They're no good. They don't last at all. And that stuff is softer than that stuff. That stuff is really hard. You couldn't drill it with a cement drill bit, this style. But this one will drill with these. But I'm using the drill press to keep these nice precision. They got to be 60 millimeter spread, because that's the bolt spacing on the rails. That one, they drilled nice, but they were slow, hard. And then once I switched over to this drill's soft, but it really gums up quicker and gets the tips hotter, and it actually will start melting the tips faster. So it's a different beast, but it is softer. So I guess that's going to do it for this update. Not sure what I'll be doing on the Corsair. This winter I just got laid off on Friday, so I'll be off work for a couple months, which is good. Been looking forward to it. And I got to design up the seat cushions for the airplane. I've got some nice foam, what they call memory foam type stuff to make seats out of. I've got some scrap pieces from material I ordered to do the Cessna seating with, and so maybe this winter I'll be sewing up a seat cushion for this and have that ready. The canopy part, I may still fiddle with that, because it's just Bondo to seal that up, and then maybe spring before I can fiberglass up the female mold and get that canopy made for next spring, and then finish the control surfaces. Get everything on there, get the decals painted on, and it should be good to go. Put some fresh tennis shoes on her, be good to go. So that's going to be it for this week's update. Again, these aren't going to be every week, because today just happens to be, this whole week is going to be in the 40s, 50s. Right now it's like 53 degrees out here, so it's beautiful. Monday. So yesterday was the same. It was in the mid upper 40s, and tomorrow's going to be pretty close to the same, around 40s, and Wednesday, Thursday, still going to be around 40s. I think there's a little bit of rain coming, so I figured I'd get out and work on this today. So, all right, folks, like always, appreciate everyone taking their time to watch my videos. As always, feel free to leave any comments, questions, or concerns, and I will answer them as they come along. So like I say, this update is just basically going to be on the vapor blasting cabinet / aqua blasting cabinet upgrades. All right, folks, thanks again for watching. This is Dino Don out.